You know what time it is?
Form factors.
Time.
G'day everyone, welcome to Saminator's Form Factors episode number 4. Today we're going to be talking about some track conditions and more specifically wet tracks. We're going to be talking about how market support is more accurate on soft and heavy tracks compared to good tracks. So a couple of weeks ago for Saminator's Form Factors episode number 2, I showed a graph of market support for different age groups. I've also been keeping a record of that substantial market support, early market support for track conditions. And as you can see, in terms of win strike rate and profit on turnover, all of these have a sample size of over 100. Good tracks have the least amount of winning strike rate and profit on turnover, although narrowly for the win strike rate. Soft isn't much higher, sitting at 29% win strike rate, but 10% profit on turnover, and heavy tracks at 35% win strike rate and 16% profit on turnover. So, how does this happen? So if we try and think about this logically, I think we've got to start with market mispricing is more common on wet tracks compared to good tracks. So once a track gets to a soft or heavy range, it introduces a bit more uncertainty, and not all horses handle wet tracks equally. They're more likely to handle them better on good tracks, which introduces uncertainty in the market. And these early market movers are typically a reflection of insider knowledge of whether a horse can handle a wet track or not, or obviously better wet track stats than the rest of the field. Whereas in contrast, good track races are often more predictable, and that leaves less room for value in the marketplace. And this money is often smart money from the pros who have connections in the racing industry. Often stables know as well, trainers. We had one with Greg Urell that I think he said to us as an early 2-year-old about this horse that it just couldn't go on the wet track at all. And there was one day at Echuca at start number 2 where the track deteriorated to a soft 7, and I think he was firm in the market and finished about 10 lengths 10th. So stables often know, pros often know, whereas models and that don't know with these untried horses or horses that haven't run on a wet track before. So that's where the edges start to occur. Another thing I'll touch on as well is wet tracks often attract less attention from the casual punter. So how many times have you heard someone say, oh, it's a wet track, I'll just pen that meeting, which means sharp money, early money, smart money often reflects an informed opinion as opposed to a public overreaction. And when should I follow in this smart money for the wet tracks? Well, going all the way back to episode 1 where we pretty much found out that anything above 1401 meters racing, in terms of the way races are run and results that pop up, become a lot more unpredictable. So between that 1,000 to 1,400 meter range is generally accurate for market support on a wet track, and that's generally when you can follow it in and be confident. So that's going to do it for this Form Factors episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Until next video, bye for now.